This video is part of the MLA tutorial series. This goes through some of the basics of MLA and more advanced techniques on how you can use it to make great LabVIEW programs. One of the most powerful things about the MLA framework is that it connects all of the loops together for you with a system of cues called SmartCOM. The essence of SmartCOM is everything is connected to everything else. And any message that someone sends can be seen by anybody else, but it also is often directed to a specific loop. Imagine a bunch of actors on a stage and the director giving direction to the actors. If he talks to one actor, he's addressing that actor, but all of the others can hear also, so they can understand what's going on and understand what their role might be if they're observing someone else's message. That's an interesting concept that can have some power inside of a program as well. So every message is built on sending a message to the loop by addressing it by its name, process, action 1. The name of the loop is the name of the message. So what that looks like is, let's take MUX for example. If we want to address the MUX, we're going to talk to it with MUX commands. They show up as this dot in here. One of the things MLA does is it takes the message that's prefixed by the name of the loop and it replaces it with this. So inside every loop calls itself this. To the outside world, it's called the name of the loop. That allows us to do things like, if we look at what this looks like, we can do a set. Set takes one parameter, which is the MUX position. So if we go and actually run that, we can address the MUX set and then say position 1. And then we see the MUX switched to position 1. It indicates here that it's in position 1. And then if we want to set it to position 3, we can do that. So as we're setting this, you can see I'll go to position 5, and you can see that it switches. So that's the simple construct of what a message looks like. And the reason for doing that is it makes it very scriptable, like we just saw. We can hit the buttons, of course, on here, and that would make these MUX selections as well. But I was issuing this command through this little window right here, which gives us a way to just put a command onto the SmartCOM bus, the bus that goes to all of the agents. So by doing that, this little window here gives us scripting capability to control any of the agents, because all of those agents are exposed in their individual protocols that they expose in SmartCOM. So all of their commands, their this commands, can be individually addressed. There are other commands that don't have the this prefix on them, such as initialize or shutdown. That's a command. Shutdown could just be placed on the SmartCOM bus, and it goes to everyone, and everyone will run their shutdown case. So those are generic open commands, and the this dot commands are specific. The power of scripting is a big one, and I'm currently in the midst of adding a scripting module here, which the script, instead of just being one single command like we were sending down here, we'll be able to have a series of commands, such as set the MUX to whatever setting that you want to, wait 2 seconds for some settling time, get a measurement from the DMM, that sort of thing. So you can write a mini test program inside this. Also, we have a module here for TCP, which allows you to connect from Python program to control this. So these messages like mux.set5 can be sent just as easily from Python as it can be from LabVIEW, from within the program. And that's just because we've made a module that extends the SmartCOM bus out to TCP. And it's all handled by just this little LabVIEW right here. So it just comes up running and sits at a server port, and anything can connect to it, and the entire SmartCOM API is exposed to be able to run commands inside this program. One of the important things to enable this kind of command set to work is you have to write your commands that are in a way decoupled from the user interface. So you need to be able to send a command like mux set 5, for example. Well, on a normal LabVIEW program, you might make this button, the 5 button, do something specific. But we're not going to be pushing that button. We're going to be sending the command. So we want to be able to inject that command directly to the loop. So therefore, that command needs to look pretty much the same way as it does when you click this button. So if you look at what I've done, these buttons are all in the same loop. So if any of them trigger, it just goes and gets the name of that button, and then it sets a mux.set command and the name, the string of the button, not the name, not the label, but the string, which is actually the number. So it just takes that number and it stuffs that in. This is what this function does. So you can give it a message and multiple parameters, and it automatically takes care of the spacing and that sort of thing for you. And then this guy inside of each loop unassembles that. All of the messages are strings. All the message parameters are strings. So you just pull them apart and stuff them into strings with the string handling routines. It makes it very easy to send pretty much any data type that you want to, and that gives you the flexibility of being able to send a lot of different kinds of data. But it also does one other important thing, and that is it normalizes all messages to be strings, which is why we're able to do something like this scripting. You wouldn't be able to do scripting if you had a variant or something like that as your message payload, which is a common way that people do it, but that's not friendly to scripting. Its first goal is to be able to work as a scripting language. So everything is kind of based around that, so that we design the messages themselves to be able to be very scriptable. So that's how SmartCOM works and how we're able to leverage the ability to do scripting inherently in the way we build a program. So we've got a MUX, a DMM, a PSU, and all of the functions for those instruments are exposed as SmartCOM messages that are string-based, so you can control any of them from a script. Thanks for checking out this video. Make sure to watch the other videos in this tutorial series and click subscribe so you can catch all of the other instructional videos that we post.